At my brother's wedding, my mother took the mic, looked right at me and said, "She's not married, but she's always good for a check." The room laughed. My brother laughed. My sister-in-law smiled into her champagne. What none of them knew was that I had frozen the money paying for half that wedding. This didn't start that night. It started when my mom called in that soft voice she only uses when she wants something. She said my brother and his fiancée needed a little help with the wedding. By the end of that week, I had paid the florist, the cake deposit, the invitations, and part of the catering. That had always been my job in this family. When my brother needed tuition, I covered it. When my dad needed tires, I paid. When my mom had medical bills, I stepped in. Every time they called me the reliable one. Funny how reliable starts sounding a lot like useful when you're the one being drained. The wedding made it obvious. The planner kept emailing me for approvals like I worked for her. My mom told vendors I was the point of contact. I found out the wedding date from Instagram. My invitation came late. My seat was in the back by the service hallway. The wine sponsor got thanked. The lighting company got thanked. I paid tens of thousands of dollars, and my name was nowhere. So I asked my mother to lunch. I asked why I was being erased from an event I was funding. She barely looked up from dessert. First she said I was overthinking it. Then she smiled and said, "You're not married, sweetheart, but you're great for a check." That was it. I went home, opened every invoice, email, payment receipt, and screenshot, and made one folder. Then I called my attorney. The wedding money was sitting in a trust account still under my control. I asked if I could freeze future disbursements. She said yes. I told her to do it. The next morning, the planner called in a panic. Catering hadn't cleared. The venue had flagged the balance. Then my brother called, acting confused, then offended. My mom skipped to guilt. She said I was ruining the family over a misunderstanding. But it wasn't a misunderstanding. They didn't forget me. They deleted me. I still went to the wedding. I wore the blue dress I had bought for the role they gave me. Invisible. I sat at the back and watched them enjoy the night I had paid for while pretending I didn't exist. The ceremony ended. Dinner came and went. Then the speeches started. My mother stood up first. She held the mic with both hands and smiled, that polished smile she saves for public cruelty. She talked about love, legacy, family showing up. Then she turned toward my table and said, "Not everyone here has a husband or children, but thank God some people can still contribute." A few people laughed. Then she looked straight at me and said, "She's not married, but she's always good for a check." This part plays in slow motion for me. The laughter hit first. Then my brother smiled. Then my sister-in-law looked down, but she did not stop it. Then I stood up. I didn't slam my chair. I didn't cry. I walked to the DJ booth and held out my hand. He gave me the mic. I turned back to the crowd. "She's right," I said. "I'm not married, I don't have kids, and yes, I do write the checks." Dead silence. Which is why you should all know the $96,000 that funded this wedding was frozen this morning. Nobody laughed then. One glass dropped. Someone gasped. My mother looked like she had swallowed ice. My brother took one step toward me, then stopped. I handed the mic back and walked out. Outside, my phone started exploding before I reached my car. My mom said I embarrassed the family. My brother said I destroyed his wedding. My sister-in-law called it one joke. People who live off your silence always call it an overreaction when you finally speak. The fallout hit fast. Vendors wanted payment. The venue escalated. My attorney sent the paperwork showing exactly who owed what. My mother had even tried to promise my brother an apartment that was legally in my name. That got shut down too. A few days later, my brother came to my door looking wrecked. He said, "We didn't think you'd actually walk away." I looked at him and said, "That was your first mistake. Treating me like money was the second." After that, I pulled out of everything. The shared accounts, the fake roll, the family story they kept writing over me. I kept one copy of the evidence so nobody could rewrite me again. The last thing I sent my mother was a framed, shredded, voided check with a note under the glass. "Here's the last one. It won't bounce, but I will." I never got an apology, just silence. Honestly, that was worth more. Tell me, was I wrong for finally letting the checkbook walk away?